Paul Carafotes.
Woo!
Claudia, Lonow. And Tonya, Crowe. Crowe. Thanks
Not
for
related to Russell.
Thanks for being here. So, any questions? Otherwise, I'll start. Questions? Okay, so 14 seasons, 344 episodes. I know you guys weren't in every season, but you guys were in a lot of episodes. Was there anything you wanted to do with your character that you didn't get a chance to do?
Yeah, come back for Thanksgiving or something. Mother's Day.
I thought I should have an affair with Nicolette.
In front of me?
I could have had a scene with Tonya and my
I
cousin.
know, we're cousins.
We could have talked
Yeah.
about our moms, like being at war with each
That
other.
would have
all
been
the time.
really fun,
That maybe
actually.
we could have been at war.
Yeah.
Did we? We had scenes together.
But they were just
like, oh,
nothing
hi,
scenes,
yeah.
exactly. I don't know, I would have liked to have had a little more like fun stuff, like almost like a little more humor, a little lighter stuff. My storylines were kind of heavy.
You didn't laugh about the drugs?
Give me the keys.
Who were your favorite characters to have scenes with? And then, who would you want to have more scenes with that you didn't get a chance to?
I'm sorry, did you say who you want to F more? What was that?
Someone's mind's not here.
No, who did you have the most fun having scenes with? And then who was maybe somebody on the show that you would have liked to have had more scenes with but didn't get a chance to?
Well, I just talked about us having more scenes. Would have been great. And but the person I had the most fun having scenes with was Michelle Lee. I mean, she was great. Round of applause. And she was just a great person in real life and a great actress and super dedicated.
I do, hate to interrupt you, but I do have a little story about Michelle. When I would always have a scene with Michelle during rehearsals would circle you. She would walk around me. And I kept saying, what the hell is she doing? And finally it dawned on me, I just said, Michelle, do you want to be on the left side? And she said, oh, Paul, you're the only one that understands me. Because in actors, we have a good side and a bad side. Not me, but others.
It's a good thing to know, even though I don't know mine. But I loved working with Donna. Probably the most, but that's also who I worked with the most. But Bill Devane. Yeah, like he was, even though I was kind of young, I don't know, just something about, I had such a crush on him.
I know, we were in a weird position because everyone was so much older.
Yes.
I mean, I think I did have a crush on Kevin Dobson, and he was playing my stepfather on the show.
Right, it does happen.
It happens.
It's
There's
not
nobody
real life.
else.
It's not real life.
No.
So. Even though I had someone come up to me literally across and she was like, what are you doing to your family? I'm like, it's not real.
Why that happened to you is because it was an odd thing. If you're in the movies, people sort of stand back a little bit. They see you, you're larger than life. But when you're on television, like Knots Landing, so popular, so people are emotionally tied into it. It wasn't that they thought.
Yeah, it's intimate.
They
It's
thought
intimate.
you knew them. Not that so much they're watching
Interesting,
you on
yeah.
the screen. They actually felt like you were part of their family. That's what happened. So that was my experience on the show. It was incredible. When it aired, when I first appeared on the show, like the reaction was so visceral to people. And it's to this day, because it's still popular. People have this 57,000.
And I have to say, I got hired when I was 9. And back then, I signed a 7-year contract at 9 years old. And I remember saying to my mom, 7 years? And she goes, oh, no show lasts that long. Well, Knots Landing did. So I had a 7-year contract that I had to, a lot of people don't know, but you're obligated, like they have they can cut you every year.
Yes.
But you can't stop, like you're obligated for the 7, but they have an option.
Yes.
Every year.
Yes.
So, there was a few years I was like, like, I'm tired. But there's certain years that are just like, oh, can I do this? I mean, like life is, I don't know. But I got through it, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
But our show 13 years, right? So, or 14. 14. I was 10, and you were 5, and
I was in my 20s.
how many years did you do this?
I think I started in '87, like the first 2 episodes I shot, and then I finished.
88 to 90.
Was 91. Yeah.
Paul was 88 to 90.
Yeah.
But I shot 87. It was like the end of '87. It takes 4 weeks for the show to air. So I think I worked 2 in '87. And the last show, though, I had to go back in '91 for his show.
Oh, yeah.
That was one show.
Finally.
So do we answer the question? Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so what were some of your favorite storylines or episodes? And then what was maybe one of the more bonkers storyline or episode that you were a part of? Because they had some pretty crazy.
A lot of
Yeah. Well, my favorite. Well, I had these were my big ones. Doing Put on a Happy Face with Michelle. That was a crazy episode. And Jessica Walter. That was the Turning Point episode. The rip-off of the movie The Turning Point. And then, of course, after Sid Fairgate died, that was a good year. I went to jail. Lots of drinking on the beach. And then, of
What
course,
was different in real life?
not that much. And then, of course, the whole Michigas with, running away with Chip. I mean, that was exciting. That was some exciting, all the stuff in that bunker or wherever we were. I mean, there was a lot. It's a lot.
I used to, I didn't really know what Knots Landing was when they sent me on this audition for Knots Landing. I had no clue, okay? So when I got the job, I didn't know anything really about it. I didn't know who Donna was, and I used to tease Michelle all the time and say, they got to do Herbie the Love Bug too, Michelle. And, I thought the cast was really generous, and they were really good. And everybody seemed to, except she tried to get me fired.
I don't remember that
story. Yeah, well, she did. I guess I manhandled her a little too much. The drugs and all the other problems she had. No, but I put my arms around and gave her a little too. I squeezed her a little too close. But it's just a true story. When I went to work on that show, I was the kind of actor that I would come in and bring in ideas, like I would change things in the script, and I knew because you can't really do things like that. But when I worked with Kevin, also when we did stuff together, we worked on little things.
Yeah.
Kevin, I would, like that. There's that scene where I got my contract from when they were kidnapped in New Mexico, and I had the apple, and I spit the apple at Kevin. Well, it was said in the script it was eggs, and I said to Kevin in the morning, I said, "Listen, I'm going to use an apple, and I'm going to chew it up, and I'm going to take it out in my hand, and then throw it in your face." And like the director was like, "Do you have a contract?" And Kevin's like, "That's great." Like Kevin was always down for something to change stuff up. And the good thing was that he was a big shot on the show, so they'd see the dailies and they couldn't say anything to me. They could go to Kevin. Kevin, he liked it, so it got to be in the shop because they write things. They don't want you to change anything, But on that show, the acting was superb. Everybody, there was a lot of really great actors on that show. Yeah. And they took it very seriously. We did all the off-camera stuff, when I had come along, I'd done a bunch of things, and a lot of people were holding scripts when you did the scenes. I thought it was very unprofessional. But when you did your off-camera, sometimes they weren't there.
Yeah.
But on that show, they took it really seriously, and it was really, I mean, I'm sure for you, a great lesson, like, to be taught like the old style, to do it the right way. And they were really great.
Yeah, that's true. There was this, in that Put on a Happy Face episode, there's a scene that Michelle and I have, and, I was like trying to lose my virginity, and that guy,
Trying to lose it?
I was trying, and my boyfriend was too overwhelmed. And then I go to the beach, and Michael Dukakis' stepson is like going to try to sleep with me in his van. Anyway, I didn't go through with it. But I had to.
Democrat.
And I had to had like a sort of opening up scene with Michelle to tell her what had been going on, and she didn't really like the writing, and so I went over to her house and we rewrote the scene and sent it in. I mean, you know, pretty cool.
Well, the big show.
And the writing was, the writers were very much like, they knew that they wanted to create a series that was really about relationships.
Yeah.
Like, the relationship would carry through, so our relationships with each other meant a lot too, because it was like a through line in the energy and the vibe that we put out. And I mean, like, that was so important for us to be able to have these, you know, really, like, you know,
Very good.
natural,
Real.
easy, real, you know, relationships. And I mean, I loved, what was the question again? Sorry.
Favorite
Yeah,
story?
the favorite storyline. Okay, so, I mean, my drug storyline obviously was one of my favorites because
Your favorite storyline was your husband.
only because, like, it was funny because that was a foreign thing to me, but I loved researching and using my imagination. And at the time, I think that a lot of drugs were happening around me, but I had no idea.
Yes, they were. I was one.
But for me to be able to portray a person so out of control and just losing it and really desperate and, you know, and having this relationship with my mom change, right? So because they wanted to depict somebody who you wouldn't expect that kind of issue coming, you know, with her, and her going through it and then getting out of it and then getting married and having a, you know,
But your drug issue was something they tackled, which was happening in real, like, to other families. And the fact that they actually did it was pretty ballsy, that they actually, you know, being so young and having to do it. Even with the relationship with me, you were young, you were 17 or something.
No, 18.
Oh, that's what they told you.
But definitely, like, even that give me the key scene, you know, I just love, like there were just certain moments that I could have in that one, you know, storyline that was just fun. It's just fun to play things that are, it's just fun. Acting is really fun.
Do it.
It's dramatic.
Give me the keys.
Questions
give
from
me
the audience? Anybody?
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we have a reenact? Give me the keys.